Today is a beautiful day for science. Currently, we're going to be looking at this beautiful activity from region 3664. So let's go ahead and drop down the current GOES imagery, and we're going to update the event video to the new video I just made. Now, this video is not isolated to just a specific event that's launched the solar storm, because there's more to it and there's more solar activity that is coming our way from this event, from the elongation of multiple events from those regions, 3664, and on the coattails of 3664, region 3668. So, let's get this started. Alright, currently we're still focused in on 3663, which had that beautiful X-class flare. So let's go to my filters here, and we're going to close the restriction and bring up a nice view, courtesy of NASA's SDO, of what we're looking for here. Now, more specifically, I'm going to slow it down a little bit. More specifically, I wanted to point out, we had this elongated, beautiful, positive area on the tail between the regions, on the tail of 3664, between 3664 and 3668. That has been pressured and pushed, and that has caused this activity to escalate. And it's actually what I was looking for. I was talking to Deep Quake 9 and Kathy Paina last night on here, and we were looking at that smile face of that polar region. It was a big smile. It was huge, elongated, and had a nice coil of loops breaking the surface into the corona. They were short loops that just kept coiling in, looked like a sort of an elongated slinky right over that area. And that is what we're seeing impacted. So this is quite a beautiful event and activity, but more so, it means more is to come. So as we're watching 3664 react to the push of 3668, we're seeing that the surface is making rapid changes. With that comes a higher potential of proton events. So it is very likely we might start seeing proton events exhume from this activity. So that's one of the concerns, as proton events are not nice for anybody. It's not about the aurora that's beautiful we get when just the solar storm in general. So the proton events will cause a lot of conflict with the satellite equipment and communications and things of that nature, and especially during tornado season in the Midwest of the U.S. all the way up to some of these northern states that have been seeing it. That's not a good thing, because it can disrupt emergency radio systems and things of that nature, shortwave radio even, depending upon what's going on. More so than a solar storm would, which could also disrupt things as well. But as we're looking, we're seeing that this activity it's so beautiful. We're seeing this activity as the solar flare. Where's my little man? Makes it a lot better when I have my little Kerbalians here. Here they are. Alright, so right here we're seeing the pressure being pushed on that positive area right here, as the negative region from 3668 pushes south and then into that positive. And then we see that reaction right here. Now, what's beautiful about this is the shock wave of the eruption, and there's multiples of them. It's quite noticeable in the corona on certain angstroms, more specifically 193. So let's go ahead and get the video to 193. And as we watch this event occur, you'll see a push through the coronal loops and a dimming effect around it. That is caused by the shock wave of this event, as the plasma then also exhumes outward as an ICME, which will be impacting Earth. Now, I said earlier I want to measure the speed of this event and see approximately when it will be arriving, so let's see if we can do that now. So I need to go to, I'm using only one monitor this time. Usually I use dual monitors, so I can do this a lot easier. So it's taking me a little longer to get everything where I need it to be. Where are you, NASA? Here we are. Oh, wrong NASA page. There you are. Nope. Yeah, that's it. Okay, good. All right, I have a lot of different things I follow on NASA, of course. So let's go ahead and take it back. And that's the start. And let's see what we can do about checking this out. Select in frame. And let's go ahead and measure. Oh. Yep. And measure. Okay, so I need to get it to where you guys can see what I'm doing, which will make it so much more enjoyable. Alright. Yeah, that'll do. Like I said, I'm using one monitor, so it's not as pretty as it normally is, organized, but it's definitely there. Alright. But let's take a look at some of this and see what we can get for information on how quickly and how directly this will be impacting Earth. Science is beautiful. I love it. Alright. So let's start from the beginning here. And there are multiple events that are heading towards us, so I'm going to try to capture the ones that are... Oh, let's switch to U. Alright, so 2, and we're going to go with 1. Interesting. Alright, and okay, here we are. Oh, that's a bit of a problem. And okay. There we go. Okay, we have this little guy here. He's coming out this way. Here. Is this what I'm looking for? I think this is the first eruption that occurred. Yeah. And we can see how this is actually... Oh, yeah. So first I'm just trying to identify it, make sure I get the right event. And yeah, that's definitely it. It's so fantastic. But there are multiple inside of this, so it's not isolated just to the one, which is going to make it a little more difficult to make sure I have exactly just that storm or just any particular storm, because they're overlapping, being that the storm is heading towards us. So when another storm is launched, we're trying to see that storm behind the solar plasma that's already launched towards us in the view that we have. And yeah, well, you can imagine how difficult it is to see a car when another car is in front of it. Alright, so here we are. This is where we're going to see the first point. Right there. And save. Alright, right there. Now we are getting a little further outward and spreading. You're all the way over here. And you're all the way over here. Right there. there. As you see, it takes a little time to get it all squared away, but this is definitely worth it because this tells us a better approximation of when we're going to see those solar activities happen on Earth, when we're going to see disruptions to satellite communications and other things of that nature. We're going to start looking at ACE more initially, which is approximately 1 hour away from Earth, 1 million miles towards the Sun, between the Earth and the Sun. So ACE will be detecting that polarity switch first to give us a forewarning, just like SOHO. We'll start seeing if there's like a radiation storm heading our way. We'll see static on the SOHO LASCO imagery first before we start seeing the impacts on Earth. Wow. There. And right there. You're coming out to there. Alright, we're getting past LASCO's C2. Now we do have, as you can see, as you go a little further, a second eruption, and that's going to be the one that's more over everything. What I'm trying to focus on is the first one, and it looks like it's mostly western and south. So that's what I focused on this time. And so as you see, the one that I just pulled up directly after that, that is going to be the one that's definitely going to be impacting us. So I wanted to get out of the way the first one that happened at 0100. And we're going to go ahead and start doing that now. So I'm not so concerned about that one. It might be a glancing blow, but it is not of concern. That's not what I wanted either. So we're going to refresh and start again so that I can focus squarely on the one from 05. Done. And select. All right. And we're going to focus on C2 to get a closer view of where it begins. Okay. And, all right. Begins the fun. Okay, so we have that guy, and then here's this. If I could, maybe if I elongate this a little more. There we go. Perfect. Alright, so this one begins here. Oh yeah. So we see the initial push on this edge again as the first. I need to save in the view. There we go. Alright, and then the very next frame we're already seeing it. We're seeing the streamers move, but it's not fully encompassing yet. So I got to make sure I don't count streamer movement as part of the event. You're more over here. And you are all the way over here. Yep. And so you, then you. And you are over here, and you are all the way over here, and you're coming out to about right there. And save. Alright, we can see it's moved outward a little bit. It's more into that spot. It's a little blinding. Can't really tell exactly where it is in that mix, but it's there. Alright. Still mostly in that spot. Oh, there, yeah, I can see we're right there. Is that part of it? No, that is not, so that's good. So yeah, we're right here. Alright, going a little further out. Let's update that. Alright, now we're seeing slight movement here, but I need to make sure it's the right thing. Yes, it is. Alright, so right there. Now it may be fully encompassed at this point, but I could definitely tell for sure up to this area. You can see the actual plasma movement. I'm trying to make sure I don't count streamers. Alright. Yeah, we're full now. So we have a full halo. Alright, so what do we have going on here? Where's my calculator? Okay, so moving pretty quick. I'm looking at a, I don't know if this is true, 16 hours is what I calculated. That seems pretty quick. 18 hours. Okay. Let me see if someone else on NASA measured this already. See what they've got, because I have 16 to 18 hours, plus or minus 4 hours. I want to see what some of the other scientists have gotten. So let's go to here. Yes. Da, 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 da. Don't see what I'm looking for. They must have moved it. Yeah, there was a website that I used to go to that listed all these different measurements by other scientists on these things when they would put it up, and then right now that site is not there anymore. Maybe they must have moved it. So let's go to this. Run request, SWA, space weather, tools. Ah, found it. All right, yeah, they moved it. It's all right. Okay, and what do you show? I have one person that practically agrees with me. There's a lot going on here. Not many people have actually measured this one. Interesting. Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay, so yeah, not it seems to be not touched by many scientists yet. So I'll check again later, see what other scientists have gotten. There's only 2 people that have measured it so far. One says 80 hours, which looks like they just use a generic tool to measure it. So I wouldn't think that's correct. Another person said 20 hours. So we'll see how that goes. But it is fast moving. It is difficult to measure because of the way it's there. As you've seen how picking out amongst the streamers moving, considering how far-reaching some of these prominences are, they sometimes kind of make it difficult to see where the plasma and the prominence streamer is meshing. I'm measuring, I'd say 18 hours plus or minus 4 hours from time of launch. So we're looking at tomorrow. We'll start seeing an ICME impacting Earth. Once again, we'll start seeing the impact approximately 1 hour before it hits Earth by looking at A satellite tech. I'll go ahead and pull up ACE so you can see what I'm talking about. And this is very important. This is one of the NASA's websites, satellites. That's 1 million miles away from Earth, between the Earth and the Sun. It's very helpful. So we can see activity that's happening there before it hits us here, so we can prepare, or better prepare. And it's even more important for like the astronauts and those that control the satellite tech and communications. This definitely is going to bring a little bit of a ringer. We're going to see by what I mean by that is saying that our magnetosphere is definitely going to be rung like a bell. It's going to bring a lot of speed, and it's going to have a good strength to it as well. We see a lot of plasma in that movement, so we're going to see a geomagnetic storm. I wouldn't be surprised of at least a category 3. We're going to see some aurora, of course, so it'd be beautiful for the aurora. But more so than anything, I don't think it's over. I think we're going to see more activity from 3664 and 3668, which is riding in the coattails of 3664. Because what has happened, once again, is the negative region of the leading negative region of 3668 has cut underneath and pushed into the positive of 3664. And we can see it a little more clearly if I pull up here HMIBC. So I'm going to move the event momentarily. We're going to pull up NASA's SDO HMIBC through AIA, and we can see this actually happening as that negative area pushes underneath and then into the positive. And that's why we're seeing this activity happen. That right there. So and that's what I was talking to DeepQuake9 and Kathy Painina last night about this very thing, expecting that to happen. That elongated smile with that beautiful coil of coronal loops, short coronal loops crossing over right in that area. Nice, beautiful slinky. And that's what's been disrupted. And as it continues to do so, it's a major surface change, so it increases the risk and potential of a proton event as well. So, to summarize, today's event, the X-class, is not isolated just to the X-class, but it is a major shift between the regions of 3664 and the one riding in the coattails, 3668, where 3668 has undercut the positive area of region 3664 and caused a major surface change of that positive region, which has caused an escalation of those regions' interactions to where we're seeing this activity occur, including to the point where we have a significant solar storm heading towards us that is approximately 18 hours plus or minus 4 hours away, based upon my math, but it might change as we get more information, so give or take. As this storm gets here, it'll probably be, I'm expecting at least a G3 storm. It looks like a beautiful one, but once again, polarity of the storm when it impacts is very crucial to what really actually happens and partakes. As we have a northward or a positive polarity, it's not going to be as impacting as a southward. So this region, however, is not done. As 3668 pushes into 3664, we're going to see more surface changes and more interaction and an escalation of activity. So this is more of a beginning, a ramping up, as I spoke with, again, DeepQuake9 and Kathy Painina. This event is going to likely lead to an increased chance of a proton event and more solar flares, even of an X-class and significant X-class level. So definitely keep your eyes on 3664 as it rotates across the Earth-facing disk. It's just now passing that strike, or it's still within the strike zone. It'll soon be passing out of the strike zone, but it doesn't mean that we won't be hit by events coming from this region. So worth keeping an eye on. Well, that's the update. So cheers and science on.